Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know, most of us, when we encounter a long list of names in an ancient text, especially a family tree, we just skim right past it.
Oh, for sure.
We think, okay, that's just historical bookkeeping. Nothing to see here.
And that would be a huge mistake today. We've been handed a stack of sources that proves that specific list of names is, in fact, the blueprint for a prophecy that was thousands of years in the making.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is focused entirely on the seemingly dry opening of the Gospel of Matthew.
Yeah.
The genealogy of Jesus Christ.
Right.
We are going deep into three key sources, Genesis 49, Psalm 72, and Matthew 1:1-17 to discover why this list of 32 generations is so meticulously organized.
And how it proves a lineage promised since, the dawn of Israel.
We're going to show that this roadmap is far more than historical data. It's the documented fulfillment of a long-term plan.
It's the ultimate proof. The proof that the narrative of history was pointed toward a specific person, traced through a specific family line.
So let's start where the promise begins. Let's set the foundational expectation. We have to go back thousands of years to Genesis 49. Jacob, on his deathbed, is giving final blessings, or prophecies, really, to his 12 sons. But when he gets to his son Judah, the tone completely shifts.
It really does. It shifts from just a simple blessing to declaring sovereignty. Jacob gathers his sons, commanding, "Assemble and listen, sons of Jacob, listen to Israel, your father."
But Judah gets singled out.
He's absolutely singled out for dominion. The promise is, "You, Judah, shall your brothers praise. The sons of your father shall bow down to you." This immediately establishes Judah as the chief tribe, the one destined to lead.
And the imagery he uses is the strongest in the whole text.
Yeah.
It's not just calling him a leader, he calls him the apex predator.
That's a great way to put it. That's right. Judah is compared to a lion's whelp, and then a fully grown, powerful lion recumbent, the king of beasts who would dare rouse him.
Wow.
It sets the tribal identity forever: royal, powerful, and utterly dominant.
But the truly defining moment, the one that anchors this entire deep dive, is the promise concerning authority.
That's the key piece of political and prophetic inheritance right there. Jacob declares, "The scepter shall never depart from Judah."
A scepter, the symbols of rule.
Exactly. Or the mace from between his legs, while tribute is brought to him and he receives the people's homage. The right to rule, the sovereign authority, is tethered specifically and, indefinitely to this one line, the line of Judah.
So we have this ancient, powerful promise. A king will come from the line of Judah and hold the scepter forever. But what kind of king? What's the job description?
Right.
To find that, we jump forward in time to Psalm 72, which kind of paints the picture of this ideal promised ruler.
This royal psalm is fascinating because it merges absolute authority with absolute morality. This king isn't just powerful, he's perfectly just.
Okay, so it's not just about might.
Not at all. The sources say he will be endowed with judgment and justice directly from God, and his core function is to govern the people with equity and defend the afflicted.
It sounds like a perfect government achieved through a perfect ruler.
That's precisely the vision. The result of this just reign is that mountains and hills will yield peace and justice. He defends the afflicted and saves the children of the poor. He is the ultimate champion of the marginalized.
But wait, this promise isn't just about local governance in Jerusalem, is it? The scope feels much, much bigger.
Always is global. The text says he shall rule from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth.
And the duration is just as vast.
Till the moon be no more. Justice shall flower in his days and profound peace till the moon be no more. His name is to be blessed forever. It's the vision of an eternal, just, worldwide dominion. The ultimate fulfillment of that line of Judah prophecy.
Okay, that's the setup. We have the ancient mandate from Genesis and the detailed eternal job description from Psalm 72. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Because we move from this abstract, powerful prophecy to the concrete, traceable names in the Gospel of Matthew. And Matthew's opening verse is not a warm greeting. It's a statement of ownership.
He doesn't waste any time at all. He opens with, "The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham."
Boom, right there.
It's an immediate, I'd say, aggressive claim that Jesus connects backward to Abraham, the father of the nation, and to David, the key fulfillment of the line of Judah prophecy. It links him directly to everything we just discussed.
And the list isn't just tossed out there. What's amazing is how deliberately the genealogy is structured. It feels like the author is, showing his work.
It is the proof. Matthew structures the lineage into 3 distinct, carefully organized phases. Each phase contains 14 generations.
3 sets of 14.
making a total of 42 generations. It's a structural blueprint designed to emphasize 3 crucial historical eras.
Let's walk through them then. Let's see who made the cut. Phase 1. From Abraham to David, 14 generations. This establishes the foundation of the nation and connects back to that starting prophecy.
Exactly. We see Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then Judah, bringing us full circle back to the lion scepter. But even here, in this foundational phase, we see this incredible pattern of inclusion that, well, it complicates the idea of a perfect lineage.
What stands out to me is the deliberate mention of the women. The list is primarily men, yet we see these names that kind of raise your eyebrows.
They absolutely do. Take Judah, who became the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar.
And that's not a simple story.
No, Tamar was involved in a complex, morally ambiguous story just to secure her place in the family line. And later we see Salmon became the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab.
Rahab from Jericho, a non-Israelite. And a prostitute.
A prostitute. It is wild. The man tracking the ultimate royal line deliberately includes a Canaanite former prostitute. And then Boaz marries Ruth, another non-Israelite, a Moabite.
So it's a messy history right at the very beginning of this royal line.
It shows that God's plan was never, predicated on human perfection or purity of descent. It was based on faithfulness, even in the midst of broken circumstances. And phase 1 culminates in Jesse, who became the father of David the king.
Which transitions us immediately into phase 2, the royal period. This covers the time from David's crowning to the nation's catastrophic collapse, another 14 generations.
Right. And David, the king, became the father of Solomon. And here Matthew drops another subtle but powerful detail. Solomon's mother had been the wife of Uriah.
Uriah, the man David had murdered to cover up his sin with Bathsheba.
Yes. Again, the greatest scandal of the kingdom is included right here in the official record.
The writer isn't trying to clean up the past, he's detailing it, flaws and all. We then track the line through the succession of kings, like Rehoboam, Abijah, and down to Josiah.
And this second phase is defined by the slow decline of the kingdom from its golden age. The descent is real, both politically and morally.
And the whole thing comes to a crashing halt.
It does. The distinct, traumatic event that brings the entire second set of 14 generations to a stop is the Babylonian exile. Josiah became the father of Jeconiah and his brothers at the time of the Babylonian exile. The scepter had departed. The kingdom was gone.
So the promise of the eternal scepter looked broken, which sets the stage for phase 3, the post-exile line to the Christ, the final 14 generations.
This is the era of rebuilding and waiting. We track the line through figures like Shealtiel and Zerubbabel, who led the efforts to return and reconstruct the nation.
It shows that even after that devastation of the exile, the promised line survived.
It did. And this final section quietly tracks through the generations down to Jacob, the father of Joseph.
And then the conclusion.
And the culmination, the destination of this entire historical and prophetic journey is the conclusion. Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, of her was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. The precise structure, 3 sets of 14, it proves the final destination was intentional all along.
So what does this all mean for us today, beyond just being a phenomenal historical document? We have this incredibly precise structure, 42 names, thousands of years. Yet we just spent time dwelling on the messy details. Tamar, Rahab, the scandal of Uriah's wife. Why the emphasis on the brokenness within the blueprint?
That is the profound, beautiful takeaway from our reflection source. The genealogy reveals God's faithful plan unfolding through generations not because of human weakness and brokenness.
So it's not in spite of the mess, it's through the mess.
It tells the story of ordinary, often flawed people who are nevertheless integral to an extraordinary plan.
It's a complete rejection of the idea that this had to be a perfect, flawless, golden line of descent. It was human history, full of failures and unexpected detours.
And this should encourage us. Each name reminds us that God works patiently in history, using ordinary people to bring about extraordinary salvation. Psalm 89 speaks right into this. The promises of the Lord I will sing forever. Through all generations my mouth shall proclaim your faithfulness.
If the plan took that long and involved so many detours, the primary application for us must be patience and trust.
Absolutely. When you look at the scale of this project, the 42 generations, you learn to trust that God is faithfully at work in your own journey, even when you can't see the big picture. This genealogy tells us that our lives, our individual struggles, are part of a greater story that spans millennia.
That is a phenomenal synthesis. We started with the powerful ancient prophecy of the line of Judah, the holder of the scepter in Genesis.
Right.
We then saw the vision of the just, eternal king who rules from sea to sea in Psalm 72. And finally, we tracked the incredibly precise fulfillment of that promise across 42, often messy but carefully organized generations in Matthew 1.
The structure itself becomes the proof. The plan required thousands of years, monumental historical events, the trauma of exile, the rise and fall of kings, and the participation, failures and all, of individuals like Tamar and Rahab to come to fruition.
It shows the sheer scale of commitment behind the ultimate promise.
Indeed. And it leaves you with this to consider. How can you honor God today by trusting his work in your life and being faithful in the small responsibilities given to you, knowing that your own story, however small or messy it seems, is part of a plan that spans generations?